Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Wednesday, the 13th of May. 45 Shia Ismailis killed in gun attack in southern Pakistan. Landslide threat looms as death toll in Nepal quake touches 70. And Indian Prime Minister Modi heads for China, aims at cementing bilateral ties. And now for all the details. At least 45 people have been killed in a shootout in Pakistan's southern Karachi on Wednesday. All the victims of the latest sectarian attack belonged to the minority Ismaili community.
The incident happened in the outskirts of commercial hub Karachi when at least 6 heavily armed men attacked people on board a passenger bus. According to reports, some 60 people were travelling in the vehicle when the shootout took place. Majority of them belonged to the Shia Ismaili community. Those killed included at least 16 women.
9mm है, SMGs हैं और दूसरे मुख्तलिफ वेपन्स हैं. अंदर जाके मारा गया, बाहर से फायर नहीं हुए. जो हमने अभी तक बस को जो मुशाहिदा किया है वो अंदर से ही जाके उन्होंने फायरिंग की है.
Authorities said the number of fatalities could go up as the condition of many of the injured still remained critical. A splinter group of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has claimed responsibility for the strike. This is one of the biggest terror attacks the Ismaili community has ever faced. In August 2013, a Taliban attack targeting the Ismailis in Karachi had left 4 people dead. Ismaili is a small community belonging to the Shia sect. Its members are regarded as peaceful, progressive and largely apolitical, predominantly working in the health and education sectors.
Seasonal monsoon rains in the weeks ahead could trigger further landslides in Nepal, geologists have said. The disaster-struck nation continues to reel under the aftermath of a second earthquake that struck on Tuesday.
Fear and anxiety loomed in Nepal on Wednesday, a day after a strong jolt shook the Himalayan nation yet again. People in capital Kathmandu were slowly limping back to normalcy, returned to makeshift camps. Despite spending the night in open, many were hesitant to return to their battered homes. They said they feared more aftershocks.
Everybody is scared right now. Nobody stay in the house. Everybody was on the road and was feel.
Nepal on Tuesday was rocked by another major earthquake of 7.3 magnitude, centered some 51 miles east of Kathmandu near Mount Everest, just days after a similarly strong tremor killed at least 8,000 people across the country. The tremor, which was 15 miles deep, was followed by a 6.3 magnitude aftershock 30 minutes later, with numerous other aftershocks continuing until Wednesday. The surprise quake brought down buildings already weakened by the first disaster. Nearly 70 people have been confirmed dead in Nepal and over 1,100 people injured.
This time it was very big and I was afraid that what happened to my house or something like hope nothing was happened in my home. So I just ran here. I was very scared at that time.
Tuesday's quake struck just when Nepalese President Rambaran Yadav was speaking during a parliament session. The tremors disrupted the proceedings and caused panic in the house. It further triggered 2 landslides in the region around Tibet, bordering Nepal as well, killing 1 person. The impact of the latest tremors were felt across India, Bangladesh and some parts of China as well. The death toll in India's worst-hit province of Bihar crossed 17 on Wednesday. At least 77 people were also wounded from incidents of building collapse. 14 students were also injured when a railing fell in a school in West Bengal.
ভূমিকম্পের সময় সবাই দৌড়ানোর সময় ওগুলো ভেঙে গিয়েছিল তারপর সবাই দৌড়ানোর ফলে আমার পায়ের মধ্যে সবাই পড়ে গিয়েছিল
The United Nations said they feared the worst after Tuesday's earthquake. Several areas of Nepal have been identified as perilously unstable following last month's devastating quake. Geologists believe landslides pose an ongoing menace that will only increase when seasonal monsoon rains begin to fall in the coming weeks.
The killing of Bangladeshi blogger Ananta Bijoy Das is a major blow to free speech, Human Rights Watch has said. Das is the 3rd secular blogger to have been murdered in Bangladesh in 3 months.
The Human Rights Watch in its latest report condemned the incident. It further called the killing a part of an alarming trend of violent intolerance towards freedom of religion and speech in Bangladesh. Ananta Bijoy Das was reportedly hacked to death by 4 unknown assailants when he was on his way to work in Sylhet district on Tuesday morning. Das was an organizer of the Ganajagran Manch or People's Resurgence Platform of Bangladesh, which has been demanding a ban on Islamist parties and death penalty for convicted war criminals. This pattern of vicious attacks on secular and atheist writers not only silences the victims but also sends a chilling message to all in Bangladesh who espouse independent views on religious issues. The Bangladesh government needs to act swiftly to bring to justice those responsible for these brutal attacks and to make clear public statements that attacking freedom of religion and expression will not be tolerated. Asia Director of Human Rights Watch, Brad Adams, said. Das was also a contributing author for Muktamona, a blog propagating rationalism and opposing fundamentalism. The founder of the website, a US-based atheist writer, Avijit Roy, was also hacked to death in Dhaka in February this year. This was followed by killing of another progressive writer, Oishakur Rahman, in a similar manner in March. The subcontinent wing of the Al-Qaeda claimed the killing of all 3 bloggers, calling them blasphemers. The extremist religious group views free thinkers and liberals as anti-Islamic.
Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and Afghan President Ashraf Ghani have pledged to eliminate common threat of terrorism in the 2 countries. This comes as both leaders sought to build a positive rapport after years of troubled relationship between the 2 sides.
The high-level meeting in Kabul had both Pakistani and Afghan leaderships agreeing upon fighting militancy that has plagued the region for long. The neighbors are looking to increase military cooperation to eliminate Taliban insurgents who have been rapidly unleashing terror in both Pakistan and Afghanistan. Prime Minister Sharif, who arrived in Kabul on Tuesday for an official visit on President Ghani's invitation, vowed to help hunt down militants hiding in the border areas.
Pakistan has the highest stake in a peaceful and stable Afghanistan. We stand in strong solidarity with Afghanistan. I assure you, Mr. President, that the enemies of Afghanistan cannot be friends of Pakistan. We both recognize that an enduring peace in Afghanistan will be a distant dream without an inclusive intra-Afghan reconciliation.
This was Prime Minister Sharif's first visit to Afghanistan ever since President Ghani assumed office in September last year. After years of counter-accusations for harboring terrorists, both Pakistan and Afghanistan, currently under relatively new leadership, are aiming at rebooting ties.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi starts a 3-nation visit to East and Central Asia with China. He is expected to discuss trade and contentious issues with the leadership in Beijing during his maiden trip to the neighbouring nation as the Prime Minister.
When Mr. Modi meets Mr. Xi in Beijing, both leaders are expected to touch on prickly issues such as the long-standing border dispute. India and China share an ill-defined 4,000-kilometer border and fought a brief war in 1962. But progress is more likely to be made on the trade front, as China eyes a large share of India's growing economy.
Balance of trade to make in India, to trade commerce and the border, so many pending issues for a long checkered history. Somebody needs to get up and start resolving that, so it is a very important visit.
Mr. Modi's bullet train project is also likely to feature in the discussions. China is expected to nudge India to expedite work on the $36 billion project that would connect capital New Delhi to Chennai in the country's south. Analysts say Mr. Modi realizes the importance of an increased partnership with Beijing, where India needs China's investment and technology to boost its economy.
There are areas that have been identified. Infrastructure is going to be a key item for Chinese investment. So I see this as focusing very sharply on how to implement. Mr. Modi has got a very strongly pragmatic bent of mind. He will be wanting to fast track the investments and put the India's growth story on the fast track. So China will clearly be playing a very significant role here.
When Mr. Modi met Mr. Xi in India last year, Beijing announced setting up 2 investment parks in India. China committed investing $20 billion in India over the next 5 years. But problems like land acquisition have impeded the progress of these investments. Thus, analysts say it will be a challenge for Mr. Modi to forge stronger ties with his Asian neighbor, even as the stakes from this week's visit remain high.
Bollywood actor Shah Rukh Khan was on Wednesday summoned by the Enforcement Directorate or ED over alleged foreign exchange violations related to the ownership of his IPL team Kolkata Knight Riders. Khan is accused for allegedly undervaluing his franchise in the multi-million-dollar cricket league. According to reports, ED had stumbled on audit findings indicating to forex violations worth $15.5 million related to KKR. Khan has been asked to appear for questioning by this month end. The 49-year-old actor was also interrogated 4 years ago for illegal money flowing from foreign tax havens into the IPL's second season. KKR, which is co-owned by Khan's wife Gauri, industrialist Jay Mehta and his actor wife Juhi Chawla, won the IPL trophy in 2012 and 2014. Everything about Kashmir is worth beckoning. The picturesque valley, which has for decades remained a poet's delight, has never failed to impress the tourists too. Take a look at its latest attraction.
The snow-clad mountains and the colourful spring flowers are reasons enough to call tourists in the upcoming vacations. But visitors might just be in for an added surprise with traditional art forms reflecting on its infrastructure. Walls of Srinagar got a new splash of life with mural paintings lending a fresh look to the valley. A group of 6 students from Kashmir University are working relentlessly on the project to beautify the capital city.
एयरपोर्ट से आते हुए आपको विलेज का कोई भी सीन नहीं मिलता है, आपको विलेज में जाना पड़ता है, चाहे वो कोई भी विलेज हो, मगर यहाँ पे आपके पास एक ट्रेडिशनल मीडियम में ऑलरेडी बहुत बड़ी स्केल पे पेंटिंग्स हैं, जिससे आप एक तो पेंटिंग्स देख सकते हैं और आपको कल्चर भी दिखाई देगा और आपको ट्रेडिशन भी दिखाई देगा जो कश्मीर का था। उसके साथ साथ ये भी पता चलेगा कि कश्मीर में टैलेंट कितना है या कश्मीर में भी बहुत बड़ा काम या बहुत बड़े म्यूरल्स हो सकते हैं।
The wall paintings not only give insights into the rich cultural heritage of Kashmir but also offer a sneak peek into the local life. The initiative seeks to use modern infrastructure in upholding the old Kashmiri tradition alive.
इस चीज़ को देखकर यहाँ की पुरानी रवायत मालूम होती है कि भाई क्या था कश्मीर और किस तरह का आज किस तरह की तब्दीली आई है। इन चीज़ों से हमको इस बात का पता चलता है और डेफिनेटली टाइम के साथ में हर चीज़ बदलनी चाहिए। तो जो गांव जो है वो शहरों में और जहाँ पे तरक्की हो रही है वो ज़रूरी है और हो रही है तो बहुत खुशी की बात है।
India's northern Jammu and Kashmir remains a major tourist hotspot with the holidaying season peaking between mid-April to October. In a bid to promote valley tourism, the state government has announced a Kashmir calling package for visitors to boost occupancy levels in the current season.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. 45 Shia Ismailis killed in gun attack in southern Pakistan. Landslide threat looms as death toll in Nepal quake touches 70. And Indian Prime Minister Modi heads for China, aims at cementing bilateral ties. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.